Welcome to Let's Get Lost.
So, if you're like me, you have many PCs lying around, or maybe a couple, and they're really old, and you don't know what to do with them. Well, I got a solution for you. Send them to me. No, do not send them to me. No, but so what I'm going to do is I have this old computer here. This is a Dell Precision 270. According to the specs, it says it has 20 gigabytes of hard disk space. It says it has 1.8 gigahertz of Pentium 4. That's a very old processor. It's got 2 gigabytes of RAM, and it's running Windows XP. Okay, so I want to take this. I don't want to run XP, although I could. I've booted a computer and it seems to work okay, but I don't want to run XP. I want to run something a little more modern, something that's a little more secure. XP has been officially unsupported from Microsoft since I think 2014, but I want something much newer than that. So what we're going to try to do without changing any of the hardware is installing a lightweight version of Linux and see how that works on this machine. Okay, so I got everything plugged in. I got a mouse. So this is so old actually on the back. Let's see if I can pull it back. Got everything plugged in. It's got a parallel port. It's got an RS-232 serial port. It's got a VGA adapter port. It's got dedicated plug points for not a USB, but a keyboard and mouse, not a USB keyboard and mouse, but a dedicated one. And it's got an Ethernet and power cable. It also has USB ports. So if I wanted to, I can actually plug in a modern keyboard and mouse on it. But I have the older ones, so I'm going to do those instead. So the first thing I need to do, so the specs say one thing, but on the system, is that actually what it is? So what we're going to do is we're going to boot into BIOS and determine what the BIOS is. The BIOS is on a computer for PCs is also called the basic input-output system. It is like the thing that will get the computer running and will let the computer know where it should be booting the main operating system from. So let's get that basic information out by booting into the BIOS. So before I boot up, every BIOS manufacturer has a slightly different way of getting into the BIOS. Some have F2, some hit the delete key. For this particular model, it is the F12 key, and that will bring us to the BIOS. Let's go. Okay, so we turn it on, and we get lights in the keyboard. I can hear something happening. See the Dell image starting, and let's push. Nope, I was wrong. This is the boot menu. This will come in later. So I just want to boot normal. Do I want to boot normal? Okay, let's run the setup utility. F2 is the setup utility. Ah, cool. So on the screen, we can see that we have 1.8 gigahertz, and it doesn't show anything else. But we can scroll through and see what other things we can have. Okay, primary drive 0. Let's see what that says. Okay, so that one says max or drive, and we get 20,000 megabytes, which is about 20 gigabytes. And then, what about the memory information? Okay, there we go, we got memory information. We got 2848 megabytes of RAM, which is 2 gigabytes of RAM. And AGP is 120 megabytes of that, so it's shared graphics memory, I think. Okay, CPU information, so we have CPU speed normal, we're not doing anything. Bus speed is 400 megahertz, and clock speed is 180 gigahertz. Okay, so that's good. So it's like the specs match the default model for this. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a USB stick that we can install a Linux operating system on. And once we do that, then we should be able to at least run Linux on it and see how that goes. So let me go look for the USB stick, well, not look for the USB. Let me go and look for a bootable. Nope, that's not it either. So let me go look for a small Linux distribution that is pretty modern. Okay, right now what I'm going to show you is how to actually create a bootable USB stick from an ISO image. But before we get there, I'm just going to show you that I did a Google search for finding lightweight Linux distributions for 2019, and that provided a list of several lists of which ones to use. From one of these, I picked the Bodhi Linux because I like Bodhi. Well, actually, I haven't heard of Bodhi before this, but it's based on Ubuntu, and I know Ubuntu, and I like that pretty much. It's based on long-term support, which I also like. That means whatever version of that is going to be supported longer than the other ones. Depends on what your needs are. This is the one I choose. Anyway, on this page, we got the download section. We don't want the standard release. The standard release is a 64-bit version of the operating system. Our CPU is actually a 32-bit CPU. So that's what we're going to be downloading, which is also the legacy release. Yours might be, if you pick something different, it could be a x86 release or x686 versus an x86 64 release. So just make sure you're picking the 32-bit release. If you don't, Bodhi Linux actually says, oh, you're not running a 64-bit operating system, you're 32-bit. Others just might crash. So anyway, once you get to the actual download, make sure you save the file. Do not open with the whatever software, but always save it because we're going to be doing something afterwards. So once the software is getting downloaded, it'll take a few minutes to get going. And for this thing, what I've done is I've actually already downloaded it, as you can see. And the other Bodhi Linux I downloaded a few days ago. So this is the one that we're actually going to be using right now to create the ISO image. So on Ubuntu, they come with a nice little utility called the Startup Disk Creator. This is a very simple and easy way to create a bootable image from onto a USB stick. So I have actually a different download, and I was playing around with this LXLE distribution, and it had problems with the graphics. So it's also based on Ubuntu, so I don't know why this one didn't work and the one I'm using does. But what we're going to do is we're going to pick the Bodhi image, the one that we have already downloaded, and double click it or open. And once we got that going, 750 megabytes isn't that long. We're going to make the startup disk. And so let it go. Yes, it says we're going to erase everything. So make sure if you have something there, back it up. This does require escalated privileges or elevated privileges. So you will be expected to give your password. And then it starts going. Okay, we're almost done. It's at 90%. And so to give a little background why I picked Ubuntu over some other Linux distribution, I like Ubuntu a lot. I like that they've got a unified front end or a nice front end. I like how they got, their act together, and they're making a really nice polished operating system. And so it's whenever I can find it, that's what I'll use. Okay, so now we are downloaded and we are all ready to go. All we need to do now is take the USB stick out and plug it into the PC that we're refurbishing. Well, not refurbishing, putting a new operating system on. So let's go back there. Okay, so we burned a USB stick. So the operating system and the bootable thing is on here. Bootable Linux is on here. Let's just power this guy off. Okay, so that powered off. Let's go put this guy in place and boot it up. And let's see what happens. Okay, so this time we do need the boot menu because we're booting off a USB stick, so I push F12 and it says USB flash device. Okay, cool, so let's boot that. Now the one thing about this flash device is it's pretty slow. So what I want to do, live legacy BIOS boot the live system. This will give me a chance to test the system out. So I just selected that, let it boot, and see how it comes up. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, standard output broken pipe. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, so now it's doing other stuff, but it's getting closer to what it's actually doing. So this is Bodhi, so it's Mokash. And there we go. We are in. So the time is wrong, so that's the only thing that I think I have to update right now. Still loading. Oh, it started a web browser. How cool is that? Okay, so that's good. Let me take the keyboard and actually, do I even need to take the keyboard? Let's check, see what kind of application. Connecting to the internet. Okay, so installing software. So this is nice. So it comes up with a file on the USB stick that tells you how to use all the basics and stuff. And that's useful, especially if you're not a Linux user. Okay, so let's see if there's a right-click option. Not seeing anything. No, there's not. Okay. Which is kind of, well, maybe it's still loading. Oh, no, there it is. Settings, applications. So, system tools. I like the terminal. So let's see if there is actual terminal we can use. Oh, look at that. And let's check out the internet configuration. ifconfig. Let me add or show then. Oh, there we go. And we have local internet. Okay, let's see if we can ping. Sweet. So we are able to go outside. So what can we do right now is we want to actually install the software. About operating system. Settings. Modes. Oops. Presentation. System. Hibernate. Logout. Places. So I'm going to actually have to accessories, EPAD, preferences. Oh, there we go. Install. There we go. So in preferences, there is the install Bodhi Legacy 5.0, Linux Legacy 5.0. So let's do that one. So this is the one that should install it onto the hard disk itself. Okay, so do I need this browser open? I don't think I do. It's doing stuff. Let's see if we can close it. There we go. See what it says. Yes, I want to install it in English. The one thing to remember, pick a faster USB. This one had the right size, but very slow. And it's showing. Download updates while installing Bodhi. This saves time after installation. Install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware. Additional media formats. This software is subject to license term. Okay, so we don't have to do that. It's got everything we need, I believe. If we find that we need something else, we can do that after everything's installed. So the only thing on this PC, the only thing I would suggest doing, just pop it open, see if you can add a second hard disk, make the 20 gigabyte the root partition, or the boot partition. Okay, so it says install Bodhi along, erase in disk and install. This will delete your programs and documents. This is the one I want. If you want to install Bodhi along with Windows XP, this is the default one. I don't care. I don't even know what's in there. I can't log in. So to me, the Windows XP is trash. Let's do that. Encrypt new Bodhi installation for security. Since this is such an old PC, I don't think I will do that. Use LVM with the new Bodhi installation. Yes, this is something I like. LVM is called a logical volume manager. I probably got that wrong. But it's a way to partition a hard disk so that it's like easy to change it without reconfiguring the actual hard disk. So for example, if I add a second hard disk with LVM, I could add it to that first hard disk and it could show up as one big hard disk. And I'm going to go that route. Something else, you can create or resize partitions yourself. No, so what would you like to do? Okay, what is this? I don't. If you continue to change as listed below, I think that's what I want to do. Oh wait, okay. That's not the best design. That's dialog box, okay. But we're going to do this. And we'll listen, okay. And we can hear the hard disk spinning up. Okay. Where are we? We are in Los Angeles. Yes, we are. My name is, let's get lost. Pick a username. I do not want, just let's lost. Computer's name is, what's a 260? Computer name, I'll just say this one, Bodhi1. Bodhi1. Choose a password, pick something that's fair password. Yeah, we're okay with that. Login automatically, never select that option, even if you own that computer. And the reason why it's like, you want your computer to be a little secure. We didn't pick the encrypted disk option, but you never want someone to be able to just log into your computer with no password. That's just asking for trouble. If installation is failing, I can now continue. Restart now. It's booting up. We're not going to touch it this time. First bootable device should be the disk. Let's see what happens. We got a flashing cursor. Ah, look at that. We are, I think, good to go. Let's. Oh, cool. And my enter my password, log in. Loading settings. Seems to be about as fast as the USB stick I was using. So it might be worthwhile to get a faster hard disk, but at this point, it's all good. It's all good. It's working. You can use the system for whatever you want now. Okay, so we got the same welcome screen. We got icons at the bottom. What is this one? Okay, this is a wired connection enabled. Okay, that's nice. Let's just go to okay, so one thing after cool, it works. After you install it, update the software. I mean, that's like the standard thing. Let's see. Actually, they said App Center, so what can you do in the App Center? Games. Let's see. Search. Transmission, Super Tux, Play on Linux, Solitaire. Install. Okay, so now we should come here, Applications, Games. There we go. And there we go. It's actually kind of slow.
I hope you liked this episode of Let's Get Lost. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. If you like this video, click the thumbs up icon, subscribe to this channel, and click the bell icon for future notifications. Until next time, I will catch you later. Bye.